Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this week's edition of SmackDown Dark. Another opportunity for you to catch more action in this season of Universe. And we are kicking off this week's episode with the Queen of the Women's Division, the Women's Champion, the Submission Magician, SHAYNA Baszler. And SHAYNA Baszler will be paying close attention to our first SmackDown pay-per-view in 2 weeks' time, Payback, where the former Queen, Charlotte Flair, takes on the baddest woman on the planet, Rowdy Ronda Rousey. Now, there was questions raised this past week on SmackDown whether or not Charlotte would indeed be 100% by the time Payback comes around. Of course, she wears that cast on her wrist after being attacked after her matchup against Ruby Riott. Charlotte says no, she won't be 100%, but she is not one to back down from a fight. And obviously that matchup will have huge repercussions on the women's division, which currently SHAYNA Baszler tops. As for tonight, SHAYNA Baszler goes one-on-one in a non-title match against the veteran of the women's division, MICKIE James. And MICKIE James receiving a great ovation for the fans, respecting all what she has done for the women's division over the years. And MICKIE James looks as good as ever. I cannot wait for this contest. A real contrast between the veteran and the now champion and, well, what could be a dominant champion of years to come in SHAYNA Baszler. So, our first matchup here on Dark, almost all set to go as MICKIE James hits the ring. SHAYNA Baszler seeming unfazed by the reaction for the veteran here tonight. And we are good to go. Great crowd, great attendance, and thank you for joining us. I hope you're all staying safe at the moment under the current circumstances that are going on in the world. So here we go. Baszler versus James, and the referee signals for the bell to get this contest underway, and SHAYNA Baszler just grabbed MICKIE James by the neck, and those knees, and one more for good measure, and that brought MICKIE James to the party, or even woke her up at the party. She is in the thick of it right now against SHAYNA Baszler, the Submission Magician, the Women's Champion here on SmackDown. She won the championship at WrestleMania, of course. Ronda Rousey was in attendance that night, and some do think that if Ronda Rousey had not been at ringside and got involved in that contest, quite possibly Charlotte would have remained champion right now, but we will never know. Rousey was there. There was an altercation between her and Flair, and SHAYNA Baszler capitalised, and she is of course now the Women's Champion. Suplex by Baszler, bringing in MICKIE James, and MICKIE James has faced the very best over the years. Trish Stratus, Lita, she has been up there with the best. But has she been in there with anybody quite like Baszler, who already goes to work with a submission, an arm lock, and MICKIE James having to fight her way out of it? And you would say that tonight it is going to be a fight for MICKIE James if she is to knock off the Women's Champion. And look at Baszler again, making sure she uses everything around her inside the squared circle, using the ropes to her advantage and taking the breath away of MICKIE James. Went for a punch to the gut, blocked by James. James struggled thus far to mount really any offense, but now beginning to get going. A boot to the midsection and a Russian leg sweep. And James now wants up Baszler. And a kick to the midsection. MICKIE James, of course, will be looking to hit that mitt kick. If she can catch Baszler off guard, she has every chance of winning this one. But Baszler smartly got out the way. And Baszler has so many attributes. The submission skills. She's strong, athletic. She has it all going for her, and she's already top of the pile. Picking up Mickie James and dumps her down on the back, and you notice that she held onto the arm and leg to apply more pressure, and then backs off and takes a moment. Calculated is the women's champion, and now a camel clutch going through the arsenal of submissions that are indeed in the locker of Baszler. Referee asking the question, but Mickie James saying no for the moment. How much pressure can she take? And if you are enjoying this season of Universe, then please do make sure you are subscribed to the channel with the notification bell turned on, so you stay up to date with every episode of this season of Universe. And also make sure you hit that like button and show your support. It does mean a lot. It's very much appreciated here on the channel. As Mickie James begins again to try and mount a comeback, and she manages to take up and down SHAYNA Baszler face first. Into the mat goes Baszler, planted, and Mickie James now perched on that second rope, awaiting Baszler to get to her feet, and a drop kick and a beauty and a pin from Mickie James, and it only gets a 1 count. You can also catch SmackDown and Raw on demand. We've seen an 8-man gauntlet match on Monday Night Raw this past week, and as well on SmackDown we saw an intriguing contest between Daniel Bryan and Drew McIntyre. McIntyre currently on that losing run. Could he turn things around and defeat Daniel Bryan? But if McIntyre was to lose, he would have to partner up with Daniel Bryan and mount a challenge towards the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the Kings of Wrestling, who have been a thorn in Daniel Bryan's side for many weeks now. McIntyre pretty reluctant to do so, but would he have to? Catch up on demand and check out both Raw and SmackDown right now on my YouTube channel, as SHAYNA Baszler makes the pin, and she gets a 2, and Mickie James barely got the shoulder up. The offense really kicking through now, and as I say that, Baszler kicks out again, a knee right on the jaw. James up, and again! And Mickie James could be out. It could be lights out for Mickie James, and Baszler wants James up, calling her up to her feet. And the knee once again. And Mickie James could quite possibly, well, she's up now, but I don't know if she's got her bearings about her. Here comes SHAYNA Baszler, and luckily enough, Mickie James sidestepped her. Oh look, rolls through, pin, 1, 2, Well, Mickie James folded up SHAYNA Baszler in all sorts of trouble, and the women's champion just about kicked out, almost fell out of the pin. And Mickie James now, once again, an opportunity to get back into this match. Can she seize it? Baszler turns the tables, and those kicks to the midsection, but don't count out Mickie just yet. Hits the ropes. Bulldog! Not sure she got all of it, but she got enough of it. The veteran still in this one. Now it's the kicks from Mickie James. But an elbow by Baszler. Punch to the gut. And Mickie James stumbling all over the place, but still throwing offense. Mickie James showing she is a fighter, just as she has done throughout her entire career. But Baszler, again that knee, and James dazed. And Baszler now locked in. And usually, if she's got you in this position, there's no chance of escape. And Baszler picks up Mickie James, boot to the midsection, takes her up. Kirifuda driver into the Kirifuda clutch. And Mickie James, the referee has called for the bell, and Mickie James now taps out. You cannot be in that submission for too long, otherwise it will be lights out. And Mickie James tapped out. As you see, Mickie James tried her best to stay with the women's champion, but Shayna Baszler was simply too strong here tonight on SmackDown Dark, and the submission magician living up to her nickname. And now Baszler can look on to payback, where Ronda Rousey takes on Charlotte Flair. She'll be very interested in the outcome of that one. Well, Universe Mode creators and up-and-coming commentators, do you fancy being a guest commentator here on Dark? If you do, these are all the details that you need to know, and you could be sitting here in the hot seat commentating on an episode of Dark. Simply drop a link to an example of your commentary in the comment section of this video. If we enjoy your commentary, you'll be contacted through your Twitter account. So please do leave your Twitter username along with the commentary example that you want to showcase to us in the comment section below. Now, a few things to consider that need to be taken into consideration when showcasing what you want us to see. Please make sure you show us that you have a clear working microphone. If your audio quality is poor, it's less likely that you will be considered. And most importantly, we want to see your passion and excitement. Let's hear your enthusiasm when calling the action in your very own universe or whatever video you want to showcase to us. We want to feel that passion and excitement, and if you do show it, you'll most certainly make the shortlist for an episode of Dark. So commentators, leave your examples in the comments below with your Twitter username, and we can't wait to hear from you. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to SmackDown Dark, and yes indeed, it's very exciting to hear the guest commentators here on each edition of Dark, and we can't wait to see and work with more of you in the future. But for now, I'm on commentary, and we have the miracle Mike Kanellis making his way to the ring. And Mike Kanellis really did make a statement this past week on SmackDown. I'm not entirely sure it was a smart statement, but a statement nonetheless. If you have not seen SmackDown, make sure you go and catch up on demand. But Kanellis attacked the beast, Brock Lesnar, with a steel chair. Wise? I'm not so sure, but Kanellis felt aggrieved by the constant hijacking of the advocate Paul Heyman and Brock Lesnar each time he had a scheduled match, and he took out his aggression in a sneak attack on Brock Lesnar this past week. And now Kanellis tonight goes one-on-one with the Maniac, Eric Young, and this matchup, ladies and gentlemen, is an Extreme Rules match. Kanellis almost wanting to back up what he did this past week on SmackDown by showing that he can indeed fight. And what better opponent for him? The Maniac, Eric Young, who does not care for the rules. And Young will be relishing this opportunity that has been opened up for him after Kanellis said that he wanted to be tested here on Dark. So we're going to get to see the credentials of Mike Kanellis here this evening. It's our first opportunity to see Kanellis in action after those constant matches being postponed, courtesy of Heyman and Lesnar. But can he stand up to the challenge that's in front of him right now? And would he be able to stand up to the challenge of Brock Lesnar? What do you think? Let me know in the chat and in the comment section. Maybe Mike Kanellis is just a glutton for punishment. Don't forget, he received not one, not two, but 3 F5s from Brock Lesnar, and he still came back for more. Is that wise? I don't know. But anyway, we are almost all set to go in our main event, Extreme Rules. The rules go out the window, and Kanellis is ready, and of course, so is Eric Young, the Maniac, who delivers 2 chops. And Kanellis with a fireman's carry. And the wrestling aspect that Mike Kanellis in my opinion, would be his bread and butter. He will have to rest aside for now, because Young is just going to knock the teeth out of your mouth if he gets a chance. And you can see Eric Young still wears that protective face guard, the one that he received at the hands of Dean Ambrose, now known as Jon Moxley, at WrestleMania, after being driven by Dirty Deeds onto thumbtacks. Yes, that's right, ladies and gentlemen, thumbtacks. If you want to go and relive WrestleMania, you can do so on my YouTube channel. What a night it was, the grandest stage of them all. And yeah, Eric Young had to have multiple thumbtacks removed from his face, from his back, from his chest, from his arse, wherever those tacks had got there. But Kanellis, a very different prospect for Eric Young compared to the absolute lunatic that is Jon Moxley. And Kanellis snaps the neck of Young, and Young rolls to the outside. I'd say staying in the ring is a better option for Kanellis, but if Kanellis wants to show his credentials to fight, he might have to take the action to the outside, or maybe Young will even force it, and Young went for a missile dropkick, didn't get any of it, and that allows Kanellis to regain control. Kanellis takes up Eric Young, and a suplex, nicely done. I would say, well, maybe Brock Lesnar is watching, but I personally don't think Brock Lesnar could care less about what Mike Kanellis is doing. If their paths cross, Lesnar will be looking to take Kanellis to Suplex City and send him on a flight with an F5. As Young comes storming in with a knee, and that dazed Mike Kanellis. And Eric Young with a belly-to-belly. No toys being brought into play by Young just yet, as Young is perched on that rope. Oh my goodness me. That was awkward. And as I say, no toys. Well, Eric Young has gone looking for one, and he's got one. And that toy of choice, a kendo stick, but Kanellis was aware of it, had eyes in the back of his head there, got out the way of the kendo stick, and now it rests dormant on the mat, but not for long. Kanellis has the kendo stick, and Kanellis choking the life out of the Maniac. Kanellis maybe surprised himself there. Taking a look at the crowd here on SmackDown Dark, and then following it up with a basement dropkick, but Kanellis showing that he is prepared, and Kanellis comes forward with that kendo stick again and begins once again to choke the life out of the Maniac. Well, I'm being surprised here. Didn't think that Kanellis had that in him, but maybe he does, but oh. Well, I know that Eric Young has got that in him. Eric Young has that mean streak, that side that comes through. Also the pain threshold of Young. He loves the pain, he loves to receive it, he loves to dish it out, and a pin and a 1 count. Kanellis kicks out at 1. Young brought that kendo stick in, hasn't really used it yet, but oh, making up for it now. Kendo stick shot right to the back, and it won't take long for the welts to appear. And now Young, oh well, I thought Young was going to choke the life out of Kanellis, but Kanellis with a reversal grabbed the stick. I mean, that's what she said, but grabbed the stick and pulled. Man, where are we going here? Eric Young into the turnbuckle, and Young almost knocked out. Kanellis perched in that second rope. Wanted the fans to get behind him, they did, but then that left an opening for Young. You cannot afford to do that. Eric Young, DDT! Nicely done. And Young heads to the outside once again. What's he looking for now? Oh, gone to get some steel involved in this match, a steel chair. So we now have a kendo stick and a chair, and Young, Kanellis managing to wrestle the steel chair out of the hands of Young, and that is lucky for Mike Kanellis. Kanellis choking Eric Young. I am impressed with Mike Kanellis thus far. He has been fighting. And Kanellis goes for the chair. Well, he was the chairman this past Friday, and he hits Eric Young in the gut with the chair tonight. Well, every single toy that Young has brought in thus far, I'd say that Kanellis has had the better of them. The kendo stick, the chair, all being used very well by Mike Kanellis. And Young, look at the strength. Great strength being shown by Mike Kanellis, and I think for a moment Eric Young, his back hit that chair that was beneath him, and it gets a 2. And Kanellis says, well, I thought it was going to be 3. Our official says, no. 2. Once again, if you're just joining us, if you want to be a commentator here on Dark and call matches like this, then please do go and check out the middle of this video where you can see the details where you can become a commentator here on Dark. We'd love to work with you. There are some details, there are some rules behind it, so make sure you check them out, read up on them, and then submit your commentary examples as Eric Young waffles Mike Kanellis in the back again with that kendo stick. Maybe I spoke too soon about who was getting the better of the toys, because now Young looking to regain and score some points, and he's definitely doing that. And I can see the welts. I did say it wouldn't take long for them to appear, and now they are. Across the back of Kanellis. Boot to the midsection, the action spilling to the outside, and this is where Eric Young should excel. But Mike Kanellis fighting back, standing his ground, and Young dazed, and Kanellis takes up and awkward again. And Kanellis again wants the fans behind him. Eric Young landed not just on the unforgiving concrete floor, but also on that kendo stick. Could have ended up anywhere. And Kanellis bringing the kendo stick into the ring. Young, is out. Well, you've got to think, will that protective mask protect Eric Young from a kendo stick shot like that? 1, 2, and maybe soften the blow. I'm not sure how much, but it just enabled Eric Young to kick out. He got struck right between the eyes with that kendo stick. But Eric Young, as I said, enjoys the pain, comes back with a drop kick and a beauty. Great matchup here. We've seen SHAYNA Baszler and Mickie James in action earlier. Now Mike Kanellis versus Eric Young. Kanellis with a point to prove, and Kanellis comes down back first on that kendo stick. And Eric Young with a chair, and oh my good God almighty. There is nothing forgiving about a steel chair being clobbered on the back of your head, and Mike Kanellis just gets the shoulder up. I'm surprised Kanellis kicked out of that, in all honesty, but he did. But it's all Eric Young now, and in fairness, Kanellis is in the domain of Eric Young. This is his kind of environment. This is how he likes to play. These are his toys. And Kanellis so far has borrowed them, but he hasn't been able to take them. And in order to defeat Eric Young, he's going to have to take those toys away. And let's just be blunt. Shove them up his arse. Enough said. But Eric Young went for the kick, didn't get it, and Kanellis now stands and exchange and goes for the equaliser, and that is the kendo stick. Well, that was smart from Mike Kanellis. He could have ended up in a brawl with Eric Young and only one superstar would come out on top, but instead he went for the kendo stick and he absolutely hammered Eric Young, but somehow Eric Young is able to repel the pain, and I do think it's that protective face mask that's playing a strong factor. There's a knife-edge chop by Young. Cuts back Mike Kanellis and oh wow, snapped him off and dragged him back in with the short clothesline. With a whiplash for Mike Kanellis to deal with. And Kanellis now taken to the corner. Young back in control, but both men have taken punishment. But it is Kanellis who is now down, and Young holds his head. Oh, Young now getting some payback himself, choking the life out of Mike Kanellis. You can clearly see that Eric Young is hurt, so that protective face mask hasn't saved him completely. And he decides to take Kanellis to the outside, and he's slow. Is Eric Young. The damage has been done, but Young. Well, Eric Young bringing a table into play. And Kanellis barely able to get up himself, and Young with that table. Kanellis clueless at the moment. Young has set it up. Oh, but Kanellis is back. Mike Kanellis saw the construction that was being set up in the ring by Eric Young and immediately got back in the ring and caught Eric Young off guard, and Young, crashes through the table. It's a similar story. The toys that Young brought in, well, now I will say it, Mike Kanellis has taken them away. That includes the table. And good night. 1, 2, 3. Mike Kanellis knocks off Eric Young in an Extreme Rules match. How about it? Well, Mike Kanellis held his own. You see the weaponry that was brought into play, most of it, in fact all of it, by Eric Young, but Kanellis got the better, and then this, the rolling cutter, and that was after Eric Young went through a table, and Mike Kanellis, dare I say it, impressed here tonight on Dark. Brock Lesnar, beware. We'll have to wait and see. Thank you for joining us, everybody. Stay safe, and we'll see you all soon.